If you are able to give a contribution via Super Thanks, you will receive a shoutout in an upcoming video, as well as help grow my channel. Super Chat is below. Throughout the history of Alice in Chains, Layne Staley was not the only one who went through substance abuse issues. Kinney and bassist Mike Starr were also struggling with alcohol addiction. Jerry Cantrell was also going through severe clinical depression from the deaths of his mother and his friend, Andrew Wood, and used Xanax, an anxiety medication prescribed by his doctor to ease his depression as well as his heavy drinking on tour. Quote, "I was going through a tough time, everyone was, but that's what made the album stronger and more intense. I look back on that period of time as the longest 4 years of sex, drugs, and alcohol we all went through," Cantrell said in a 2000 interview with the Seattle Times. All members of Alice in Chains were using drugs in the band's heyday. While Staley and Starr chose heroin as their drug of choice, Jerry Cantrell and Kinney's was alcohol. The band frequently used cocaine as well, especially during the early 90s when the band was living and recording out of Seattle's Music Bank. The cocaine use was let out of the bag during a 1993 interview with Kurt Cobain, where Kurt responds to a question with, quote, "I shot coke with Alice in Chains all night. I don't remember."
In South America, were they freaking out? What was it like there?
I don't remember.
Because I went through
Shot coke with Alice in Chains all night, I don't remember.
On January 22nd, 1993, Mike Starr left Alice in Chains. At that time, the band was achieving great commercial success promoting their album Dirt. Following Starr's departure, Staley claimed that the reason he left was that Starr wanted to go home, although the band would continue to tour. However, Starr denied that and said he was kicked out of the band as a result of his heavy drug use. Mike Inez replaced him in the band in 1993, and Starr kept on using drugs and getting into trouble for that. On March 8, 2011, he died of a prescription drug overdose. In the mid to late 1990s, the substance abuse issues within the band reached a breaking point, and after Alice in Chains' 1996 show in Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Layne Staley overdosed backstage, leading to the unofficial breakup of the band. Jerry abused Xanax, alcohol, while also being a heavy smoker. Some have claimed he also used crack cocaine, but that hasn't been confirmed by Jerry or the rest of the band. There isn't a ton known about Jerry's struggle, as you can tell he keeps his emotions and personal life very private, and understandably so. The last project Alice in Chains recorded was 1999's Music Bank box set, with the band releasing 2 new songs to go with the set. Cantrell released his solo album, Boggy Depot, in March of 1998, with tracks like Cut You In and My Song receiving moderate success. In an interview with Reality Check TV in 2000, the world got a look at how Jerry's alcoholism, among other things, had taken a toll on him. Jerry appeared tired and his skin was gray. He also seemed to have lost a noticeable amount of weight. Jerry was in the midst of working on his second album. In 2002, Layne Staley died of a mixture of heroin and cocaine. Cantrell dedicated his solo album, Degradation Trip, to Staley's memory, and released it 2 months after Staley's passing.
Alright, Reality Check viewers, I have a real treat for you here. We have a new San Franciscan in the house, the one and only Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains, and now you have a solo project going on, so why don't you talk about that?
That's right, I'm working with another local cat, Mike Borden, great drummer, and Robert Trujillo. We just finished a double record.
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting. You have a title for it?
Yeah, it's called Degradation Trip, Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Excellent. So you're putting it as a double album at the same time?
We're still in the planning stages of release, and I'm still looking for a home. I'm kind of an unrestricted free agent at this point, which is kind of nice, you know. But I'm not sure if I'm going to release it as two separate records or one. I'm leaning more towards releasing it as a double.
Yeah. So nobody releases double albums anymore.
It kind of fits together, and it'd be a kind of a sin to cut them up. It's probably I'd say it's probably the meanest thing I've done since Dirt.
But Seattle has kind of gone downhill. I've been up there recently, and it's no fun. I don't think.
You know, I'm not really a good judge to say how it is up there, but I definitely know that a lot of the clubs are closing down. Very similar to what's going on here.
Yeah.
Very similar.
After the sudden wake-up call of losing one of his close friends to substance abuse, Cantrell made the leap to defeat his demons and successfully got sober in 2003. When speaking about his eventual decision to get sober, Jerry stated,
Crash landed here almost 9 years ago in Los Angeles, and Sean was at the door with my brother, and so my choices were open the door and go to rehab, or jump out the back window down a cliff into some blackberry bushes. That's the choice I took. And I ended up here, so I didn't intend to get here, but I'm very grateful that I am here. And it took a lot of people to help me get here. And some of those people are Buddy Arnold for sure. I remember sitting in his office, and man, I was smoked. I was smoked. I was in a pretty heavy fog, and he assured me that everything was going to be okay. And Bob Timmons, Doug Feiger, my manager at the time, Bill Siddons, of course, Susan Silver. I love you, my sister. I love you.
In 2006, the remaining members of the former Alice in Chains did numerous reunion shows with William Duvall filling in for Staley. Sean Kinney eventually joined the bandwagon, and after fighting addiction for years, in 2007, he also got sober. The band was resurrected by Jerry Cantrell, and for the first time in over a decade, they headed back to the studio. The band released their comeback album, with 2009's Black Gives Way to Blue being dedicated to the original incarnation of the band, and of course, Layne Staley. After the band disbanded, everyone accepted that the ride was over. Alice in Chains was supposed to stay dead. However, due to the band's inspiring comeback, they're still touring and releasing music to this very day. Cantrell released his last solo album, Brighter, in 2021, and the Alice in Chains guitarist is planned to go back on tour starting February 21st, 2023. As you're watching this, I'm currently in Seattle recording content as we speak. I'm looking forward to sharing this footage and experience with you all very soon.